record.
Yeah, I want to share a presentation. So,
Oh, I give you like permission so you can like,
yes.
yeah, perfect. And yeah,
Okay.
we'll have around, let me check. I think we saw around 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. So
Oh.
to check. Yeah, we saw it, but it disappeared.
Yeah, let me change the picture as a presentation. Okay. Okay, I see now. I'm not very used with Zoom. Actually, I use mainly Google Meets.
Oh yeah, I know Google Meets. Yeah, for me it's like the opposite. With the Google Meets, I have no idea
Yeah.
how it works. No worries, take your time. Maybe then I will share with everyone. Yeah, later. There's also like an opportunity to write for the Explorers Travel
In
Journalist
that
magazine. So I just wanted
now?
to share with you. Okay, it's working now. Perfect. All right.
Okay.
Then we can start.
Okay, thank you, Igor, for the invitations. I
You're
wanna
welcome.
use myself first properly. Okay, I'm Peruvian. I've been working as PR consultant mainly for tech companies in Latin America. I've been working in PR for about 13 years, and I help like most than 100 startups and technology companies to grow. But at the same time, I've been having the digital nomad lifestyle for 10 years. And I visit more than 50 countries. And 2 years ago, I found a project that is Mentora de Viajes, that the translation is like travel mentor for women, with the aim to teach women how to solo traveling and how this experience can empower themselves. So I've been doing some webinars, some events, talks, not only in my country, but also when I've been traveling abroad. I was always looking for opportunities to make these talks. So now we're going to talk about what is public relations, because I think that it can be confusing because there is a concept that is like an old concept and the current one. So to explain this, I want to make like how you say in English, analogía, I don't know.
Comparison.
Mhm.
Analogía,
A comparison. Comparison.
a comparison, yes. Um, so we can see the difference between advertising, marketing, and PR. So for example, when you arrive to a party and immediately like someone, how will you approach them? If you approach this person and say that I'm a great person to date, so that is advertising. If you approach them and convince that you are a great person to date, this is marketing. But if it's the opposite, that when you arrive to the party, the person that you like approached you because they heard that you are a good person and they are interested to get to know you better. So that's public relations. So can you understand the difference? That public relation is actually more about building a reputation and credibility. And this is what I've been working with in the last years with technology companies to help them to get publications on media. So in that way, they can have this credibility. So it's a better path when they want to launch and expand in new markets. So I'm going to talk about the tech and startup ecosystem because this is my experience. I've been focused on this industry. So in this industry, we have the startups, we have the accelerators that are these kind of programs and help the startups to grow. They provide mentoring, training. Um, we have also the investors and the venture capital that they are looking for the startups that are potential, they have a big potential to grow, so they invest in them. And we have also the specialized media outlets that are mainly business media or uh, media focused on tell stories around startups. And also we have the media that are more related with the different industries. For example, if it's travel industry, or if it's mining, or if it's finance, we have all this ecosystem of in the tech and startup. So startups, communication needs. This is very important because here is where we can find the opportunities. So they need to create brand awareness because they are new and they need to be covered on media. So in that way, people know about their services or their products. Also, they need to build reputation because in that way they can attract the investors and they need also to have to be ranked in the search engine optimization. So if they have more publication on media, mainly online media, and they in the, for example, in the mainstream media, they mention them, in that way they can have a better rank on the search engine optimization.
So it's
Also,
Google,
they
right?
want,
The search
like
engine of
Google,
Google. Yeah.
exactly. Also, they want to grow and in the way of growth sailing. Um, they want to increase the users, and also they want market expansion because in this digital world, it's easier if they are based in or they born in one country, easily they can scale to another one. For example, in Latin America, this is very natural because we have the same language in common. So for them, it's easier. For example, a Peruvian startup that they can scale to Colombia, Chile, Mexico. Um, so yeah, this is another need. Who uses PR actively? Well, the startups, because they want to create brand awareness and all the needs that I mentioned. The accelerator programs, because they want to attract the startups to be part, to join their programs. The venture capitals, because they want to show that they can fundraise startups and attract them. Technology companies, when I mention technology companies and startup is different because the startups are new companies and the tech companies, they are more solid, but also they need to be featured or to get mentions on media. And the entrepreneurs, because many startups or tech companies sometimes become successful since the storytelling of the founder, of the CEO. For example, we have Elon Musk, that probably I think that people knows more Elon Musk that the companies that he had created. And well, these are two brands that I worked with in the past, Netflix and Evernote. For example, to give you an example, Netflix, when they made they launch in Latin America. Um, they sometimes I have the feeling that when the companies from Silicon Valley they want to enter to new countries, for example, Latin America, they see the whole region like we are the same. So they don't know the difference in each country. Each market have some cultural differences, you know. So from this experience, I learned a lot about it and how it's important to customize the content for each country. In the case of Evernote that I also work with, um, it was in a different moment because it was actually when all these startups boom start. So it was harder to talk about this app in some media because they were not like having a deep knowledge about it. So yeah, because this experience was like 13 years ago, long time ago. And in the case of Netflix, at the beginning in Peru, for example, very few people knew about Netflix. So it was hard to pitch even the technology journalists because they didn't know about the platform. So we have to give them the service so they can experience it and then they can publish it, like a reviews of the original series or movies. So what journalists look for? So we have different options. Breaking news for sure. They are looking for trendy content. So about the trending content, we can connect with some events that happens during the year and maybe some momentum that we can take the opportunity to link with the brand. Inspiring quotes about this happen when we have a CEO or a founder that have a very good communication skills and a good story that is really inspiring. Unexpected angles, a solid business story, exclusivity. For example, in Peru, Chile, in these markets, the media are always looking for exclusivity. I mean, the mainstream media. Otherwise, they don't publish you. So it's important to know the behavior of the media that you're going to pitch so you know how to handle and in the way that you get the publication. Local angles are very important. They always looking for statistics, projections. And this is what I deal sometimes when I've been working with some companies that are based, for example, in the US, that they don't have local statistics or they don't have a local spokesperson. And all of the communication and the content is very general, very global. So that is hard to connect with the local market, and the journalists insist that I need this information, but you don't have it. But in that way, the best way is to try to link the stories with something that is some facts that are happening in the country. Um, so yeah. um, so regarding the PR strategy. Okay, so first we need to define the audience, if it's business to business or business to consumer, because there are in the universe of media, we have more media outlets B2C. The B2B are less and they are more specialized and it's harder to pitch sometimes unless that you have these requirements like local data. Um, the market, also the level of knowledge. As I mentioned with my experience with Netflix, when they launched in Peru, very few people knew about them. So we have to give the service to the journalists so they can use and familiarize and then make reviews. When the brand is already well known in the market, it's easier for sure to develop a PR strategy because the media already know the brands and they already have a reputation. So regarding the objective of a PR strategy, when you have a client, you need to know what they want. If they only want to create awareness, if they want to grow their sales, or they are looking for fundraising. Because if you are focused on the startup ecosystem, most of them have the same journey. When they launch their apps or well the products, they always need fundraising. So they need to be featured or have exposure on the media. So in that way, they can be in the radar of the potential investors. So if this is the objective, you know what kind of media you're going to pitch or what kind of stories you need to create. If it's more about awareness, maybe it can work like a launching campaign. So you explain what they offered, what they do, or you can tell the story of the founder. And I think that the most challenging is when the company want to grow their sales, because in PR you cannot see directly the results because it's more about building reputation. So it's not like today the company is featuring mainstream media and immediately they grow their sales, but sometimes they expect that. Um, so it's important to also create awareness with your team or your clients about how PR works. Um, about the kind of type of media, well, in the strategy, you need to define if the brand that you are working with needs exposure on mainstream media or specialized media, according to the target. Also, having a spokesperson with good communication skills is very important because media always want to interview the CEO or founder. And if you don't have someone with these skills and you offer like a second option, they might not be so interested. Content plan. I always suggest to have this content plan like a calendar so you can identify the key moments in the year to create some content that can be linked to events or something that is important happening in the business ecosystem, for example. And also regarding the formats, you can create articles, like trendy articles. You can look for editorial opportunities or press releases when there is a news to announce. Media behavior. I'm going to tell you a personal experience about it because when I started working PR, I was living in Argentina. Um, so I didn't have any idea about media behavior. I didn't know, I didn't have any contact on media. So I start from the beginning, from zero. And then I was when I was moving to other countries as digital nomad, at the same time, I was learning about the local media ecosystem. So in that way, when I was traveling at the same time, I was like opening new markets for my services and learning about the local media behavior. It was easy for me because it was the same language in Latin America. So in that way, I learned the differences. So in the PR strategy, there are like three options according to the duration of the campaign. For example, one-shot campaign is when the brand wants to announce something specific. That can be, for example, that they have a new CEO or that they are opening offices in a new country, something very specific, one shot. That used to be like 1 or 2 months of work on this campaign. A launch is when there is a new brand and they want to expand in a new country, so they want people to know about them. And this mainly happen with the mainstream media, and it lasts for about 3 months average. And the ongoing that I think that is the wiser because if you are not consistent with pitching media and sending content to the media, they will forget you and they will start to feature or mention the competitors. So it's not good for the brand that they only make PR for a few months and then disappear. No, it's better that they have an ongoing campaign. So in that way, they can be in the top of mind of the media, and you can build a good relation with journalists, and also you can make the spokesperson to be like a leader in their industry. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I also manage PR for myself with
Oh, that's
my
interesting.
project, Mentora de Viajes. And I think that is something that maybe you can do also. For example, when I reached 10 years of solo traveling, I thought that it was something that can be interesting for the media because I'm Latin America, that is not very common that women solo travel. And I, at that time, reached more than 50 countries. So I pitched the media. So El Comercio is the most important media in Peru. So I sent them my own story. And they were interested immediately and they published it and told my own story about how I started solo traveling. And they also mentioned my project of educate women to solo traveling. And this second publication was in Infobae. Is also mainstream media outlets that covers the whole Latin America. So in this case, it was on September last year during the International Tourist Day. So I pitched this media to talk about how female travelers are traveling more solo than men. So I gave my perspective about how is solo traveling, the impact that you can get from this experience as a woman. So I connect with this moment. And it's the same what I do with my clients. No, I try to find this opportunity for some editorial content. For example, since I've been working with technology companies, there is, for example, the Cybersecurity Day or something like that. I think it's on November. So you can connect with this day and give some tips and recommendations. So yeah, in that way, how it works. Okay, so regarding working opportunities.
Oh, I see we have like 10 minutes left. We have
Okay,
really fast later some time for questions, or it's like your last slide, or you have still many to share?
I only have these two more, but I
Oh, okay.
will
Oh, that's good.
go
Yeah.
fast. Yeah. So if you have the journalism background, I think that, well, in Peru and Latin America, many journalism are turning into the PR world because it's better paid than being journalists. This is a reality in Latin America because they have the writing skills, they have the connections. Um, so there are the opportunities. For example, if you want to work with technology companies or startups, you can check the news about the startups that are raising funds. So they have money and they want to invest for sure in communication and PR. So you can make like a database and identify who is the CEO of the marketing person on LinkedIn and introduce yourself. If you have a portfolio of former clients, you can add this. Also, you can work as collaborator for some PR boutique agencies um, because they are always looking to add new people to their team. And if you can provide something different, for example, in my case, that I have this whole experience in Latin America, not only in Peru. So for them, it was very, very valuable. So when I work also with as collaborator with some PR agencies, or you can find opportunities in-house, some startup that are more solid. So they have in their team a PR in-house. So PR as digital nomad. Um, so in the last 10 years, how do I manage? Because sometimes people think that to make PR, you need to stay in the place because you need to go to events. But nowadays, everything is digital. Even when I contact the journalists and pitch them, most of them ask me, please send me a message on WhatsApp and send me all the information on WhatsApp. So it's not a problem that you are traveling because everything you can handle online. So also you can have the chance to find opportunities in travel or hospitality business. When you travel, because I think that, for example, hotels or travel agencies can need your knowledge or expertise from your own country. This happened for me when I was in Egypt, that I stay in a hotel and they run a travel agency and they want my knowledge because they want to attract tourists from Latin America. So we make like an exchange. So I made the marketing plan and some PR and I have the free accommodation. But maybe if I would have decided to stay, maybe I could be paid for this and make networking around the world that as digital nomads don't miss any opportunity of networking or maybe try to host some events with locals, try to do some volunteer work, for example, work with organizations, NGOs, in sharing your communication skills can give you a good experience and well, stay proactive because every experience is growth. And I think that that's all for now. We don't have much time.
Thank you very much, Mayra. Thank you very much for sharing it. It's actually fascinating to see it like from the other side, right? From the PR side. Because as travel journalists, we connect with PR, right? To be able to get sometimes press trips and to be able to connect with the tourist brands and travel media. So it's really cool to see it from your side, how you connect with journalists, with the companies, and also very cool about the startup accelerators. I think that's also very fascinating to know about that it exists, that there are like programs to help basically startups. And maybe I will ask, has anyone a question? We have like 4 minutes left. Worst case, we can log in again. Has anyone a question to Mayra?
No, I thought it was just really interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Simona.
I would like to ask you, Mayra, so now you are doing like a PR, right? You are
Yes.
doing PR and you earn money from PR by promoting some brands and maybe working with tour agencies, right?
Yes, I have some clients currently, and also I collaborate with PR agencies.
And you are representing your country, yes?
Uh, Not actually. I mean, I manage PR in Peru, but also I cover the whole Latin America region.
Oh, nice, very nice. But for
Because
example, when
because,
you
when because I've been traveling as digital nomad and I live in some different countries in Latin America, so I use this as an opportunity to learn about the local media. So I start to offer my service, like for example, I can manage Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica.
And you are doing articles, right, for them? You are writing articles for
Yes.
them.
I write articles for them and made them publish on the media outlets.
Media. Okay. It's very interesting. Thank you.
Welcome.
And anyone else, maybe burning questions or something that you want to share?
Can't think of anything off the top of my head, but thank you for the presentation. It was interesting.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think the PR world is actually very interesting. And a lot of travel journalists forget sometimes about how important it is actually, because a lot of companies, they really invest a lot in PR. And it's also more like what Mayra said, it's more like a marathon, right? So you need really like to work many months to build that reputation, especially for like a big company like Netflix, for example, right? If you bring it to a new country, it takes really long time to create that feeling of like, hey, let's watch Netflix together, right? Instead of saying like, hey, let's watch YouTube or like television. So it really takes time. And I think that's why it's also very important that, PR connects with travel journalists, with travel media, right? So it's all like connected together. I see we have like 1 minute left. And if anyone wants to connect with each other, you can like drop your socials in the chat. And also if you want to hear more about the opportunity to pitch an article to like the Explore Travel Journalist magazine. It's actually a magazine we will launch for the academy, so you can get the feeling how it works to be able to pitch articles to magazine, so you have the chance to practice inside the academy and at the same time get exposure to your content. So you can always like write to me. I will here share my
I'll
email.
write you because I actually wanted to know a bit about pitching because that's where I'm weak. So in general, I'd love to know more about that.
That will be awesome. You can definitely like shoot me a message and I will reply to you.
Great.
I think we'll get kicked out soon. So if anyone has any questions, I will go in again on the same link. So if you feel free, you can of course like we had like 90 minutes. I can imagine everyone is already ready to have some food or or tea, I think, yeah, because it's a night almost. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, we do the master classes every week, so you're always welcome to like check it out, and I will send you like more information as well about the academy. Thank you very much, everyone, and
Thank
I
you
will
so
join
much.
again if you have any
Nice to
questions.
meet you.
Nice to
Nice
meet
to
you
meet you,
all.
everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.